On a cold October morning, three babies entered the world within 6 minutes of each other. Dr. Elaine Porter smiled. Triplets. Their mother, 20-year-old Emily Dawson, cried tears of joy despite knowing she couldn't afford to raise them alone. Then, tragedy struck. Emily suffered a catastrophic stroke shortly after giving birth and never regained consciousness. No father had ever been identified. With no close relatives able to care for three newborns together, the state made a heartbreaking decision. The babies were separated. Each was adopted by a different family in another part of the country. The records were sealed. Only one nurse remained haunted by the decision. "They should have grown up together," she whispered. Lucas Bennett grew up on a horse ranch in Montana. He spent every free moment nursing injured foals, orphaned calves, and abandoned wildlife back to health. His parents joked, "You care more about animals than people." Lucas always smiled. They don't pretend to be something they're not. Nearly 2,000 miles away, Noah Ramirez lived in Chicago. His parents owned a veterinary clinic. By age 12, he could identify nearly every dog breed by sight. He assisted with surgeries before graduating high school. Customers often remarked, "You're going to be an incredible veterinarian." Meanwhile, Ethan Walker grew up along the coast of North Carolina. His mother worked at a marine rescue center. He fell in love with dolphins, sea turtles, and seabirds. By 16, he had already rescued dozens of injured pelicans. His dream was simple. "I want to heal animals that can't ask for help." Although separated by geography, they shared remarkable similarities. Each loved strawberry ice cream. Each played guitar. Each had a tiny, crescent-shaped birthmark behind the left ear. And each chose the same career: veterinary medicine. Westfield College of Veterinary Medicine welcomed nearly 300 first-year students. Lucas walked into the auditorium carrying a cowboy hat. Noah stopped in his tracks. "Whoa." Lucas stared back. "You've gotta be kidding." Other students turned. The resemblance was impossible to ignore. They looked like identical twins. Someone laughed. "Either that's your brother or somebody copied and pasted you." The room erupted with laughter. Lucas grinned. "I've never seen him before." Noah nodded. "Neither have I." Before either could process what they were seeing, a voice came from behind them. "Excuse me." Both turned. Standing there was another young man. He looked exactly like them. Silence fell across the auditorium. One student whispered, "That's impossible." Within minutes, the three young men were sitting together. They compared birthdays. October 18th, same year, same hospital, same birth time within minutes. Lucas slowly removed his hat. "I think," Noah finished the sentence, "we're brothers." Ethan swallowed. "No." Lucas pointed behind Ethan's left ear. "You've got the mark." Ethan's eyes widened. "You too?" They all checked. 3 identical crescent birthmarks. No one spoke for nearly a minute. Finally, Ethan laughed nervously. "This first day of college is getting weird." The university helped them contact the hospital. Unfortunately, most records had been sealed decades earlier. Weeks passed. Then, a retired nurse named Margaret Lewis requested a meeting. She walked into the room carrying a faded envelope. "I've waited 22 years for this day." Inside were photographs. 3 newborn boys lying together. Emily Dawson smiling despite obvious exhaustion. Margaret's voice trembled. "Your mother wanted you raised together." Lucas quietly asked, "What happened?" Margaret told them everything: Emily's death, the failed search for relatives, the adoption decision, the sealed records. Noah looked at the photograph for a long time. "So, we really are triplets." Margaret nodded. "I've prayed you'd find one another." They quickly discovered how much they had missed. Lucas loved country music. Noah preferred jazz. Ethan listened to classical composers. Lucas hated seafood. Ethan practically lived on it. Noah could eat almost anything. Despite different personalities, their habits were eerily alike. They all rubbed the back of their neck while thinking. They laughed exactly the same way. They all talked to nervous animals before examinations. Each unknowingly used the phrase, "Easy there, buddy." Even professors became confused. Professor Harris accidentally gave Ethan credit for Lucas's answer. Students constantly mixed them up. Eventually, they leaned into the confusion. One afternoon, all three secretly rotated seats during anatomy lab. Their professor spent 15 minutes trying to remember which student he'd been speaking to. When they confessed, the entire class burst into laughter, including Professor Harris. "You three are going to be the death of me." Late one snowy evening, an emergency call came into the university hospital. A pregnant golden retriever named Daisy had been struck by a car. Complications threatened both mother and puppies. The attending surgeon needed extra hands. Lucas handled anesthesia. Noah monitored Daisy's vital signs. Ethan assisted during surgery. Hours passed. Finally, the first puppy cried, then another, then another. 8 healthy puppies were delivered. Daisy survived. The exhausted surgical team applauded. Their professor smiled proudly. "I've never seen 3 students work together so naturally." Lucas looked at his brothers. "It felt like we'd been doing this forever." Perhaps, in some strange way, they had. Graduation arrived 4 years later. 3 identical gowns, 3 identical smiles, 3 diplomas. The audience stood cheering as the triplets crossed the stage together. After the ceremony, Margaret Lewis approached them. She handed each brother a framed photograph. It was the picture taken shortly after their birth. On the back, Emily had written a single sentence before complications claimed her life. "Take care of one another, no matter where life carries you." The brothers stood silently, overcome with emotion. Lucas wiped away a tear. "We finally made it back." Noah placed an arm around both brothers. "We're exactly where we're supposed to be." 2 years later, a new clinic opened its doors. Above the entrance hung a simple wooden sign, 3 Hearts Veterinary Hospital. Underneath it read, "Founded by Dr. Lucas Bennett, Dr. Noah Ramirez, and Dr. Ethan Walker." The clinic became known not only for exceptional veterinary care, but for the remarkable story behind its founders. People often asked how 3 brothers worked together so seamlessly. They always smiled before giving the same answer. "We spent 22 years apart." Lucas would then glance at Noah and Ethan before adding, "So we're making up for lost time." And every rescued animal that left their clinic was another reminder that, although fate had separated them at birth, compassion and a shared calling had brought them home to one another. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.